Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today is Wednesday, June the 15th, which means that it is time for week 2 of my hashtag Hot and Sticky Summer Writing Challenge update thing. First of all, I want to apologize for any weirdness that my voice does during this video. Normally the weirdness is just me being odd, but today I still have a cold, and so even though I am eating hot chips and drinking hot coffee, my throat is still not being nice. In fact, it is a hot mess. So we'll try to get through this with a limited amount of ickiness in my throat, but if anything does sound wonky, I apologize in advance. This was originally, of course, the What Are You Reading Wednesday, where I talk to you about the books I'm reading this week and then ask you about the books you're reading. I will, at the end of the video, kind of do a quick, this is what I'm reading if I get a chance while I'm writing kind of deal. But I've decided for the hashtag Hot and Sticky Summer Writing Challenge to go right ahead and just change Wednesdays to my weekly updates for you guys. I am also vlogging, so I will link the first 2 weeks of vlogs down below and possibly up in the doodly-doo and all sorts of stuff. But basically, I'm going to take this time to read you my favorite lines, to talk a little bit about what I'm writing, and then hopefully you will come down below and link any of your Hot and Sticky videos or the videos that you've enjoyed from Hot and Sticky and tell us a little bit more about what you're working on as well. And if you have any ideas for me, I'd love to hear them also. But now let's actually get into the writing stuff, shall we? Why, yes, we shall, Elizabeth. Thank you for asking. Of course, since today is the 15th, our writing challenge is to be at 7,320 words total. So far today, I haven't been able to write the words that I have handwritten from the last 2 days. I haven't been able to type them up because I had to write a scene prior to the scene I wrote the other day. So I started doing that and wound up writing 1,600 words in that pre-scene thing. So I wrote 1,600 words so far today and have 3 pages to write and put in from the 13th, and then 2 pages to write and put in from the 14th. So needless to say, my complete word count is pretty phenomenal right now. I am at almost 8,000 words, and it will be even better by the end of the day. So that makes me super excited. Most of that is on Sylvester, which I swear will have a better title eventually. But for right now, it's mostly on Sylvester. I wrote a couple of pages the other day and realized that they did not connect at all to what I had written at the time. But of course, I have the old version of Sylvester, so I kind of went back and looked at the timeline of the story through there and found what I needed to do, and then wrote, of course, about 1,600 words today to get up to this point where I can then insert the scene I wrote on Monday, I think, was Monday the 13th, something like that. I don't remember anymore. But my favorite line from this is one that I also tweeted. So if you follow me on Twitter, you've also seen this already. But it's, I guess my fear of rejection is so deeply ingrained into my psyche that I just go ahead and friend zone myself before anyone else has to do it. And that is me to a T. I overthink everything and I just immediately think, you're a great person. You are a great guy and I really like you and I think we could be great. So obviously we must only be friends. And I just friend zone myself, and then that way you don't have to do it to me. And of course, there are probably a couple of really great guys out there that I could have dated, and I didn't because I friend zoned myself, and then they friend zoned themselves because of my friend zoning myself. And that is, part of a scene in Sylvester. And of course, they don't wind up being friend zoned because she had the guts to say it to him. But there you have it. And the romance is really not the main focus of the story anymore. I think it was maybe when I started writing it in college, but I don't think it's going to be at this point. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of mold and move things around, but that's fine. It'll work. It's a first draft anyway. I can always go back and change things again. The other thing I'm working on is, of course, the Stone Dragon Book 5. And my favorite thing is I wrote this scene where they're discussing King Ferdinand's wife and things going on with her. And he's like, well, I don't really know anything. She's kind of in her house and there's not much going on. All her little pet sorcerer is doing is going out and getting her snacks and coming back. She's doing everything online now, and it's very frustrating because used to you'd have to send out a messenger and he would take letters and you could waylay them and read the notes and all this other stuff. And now she's just typing messages on her computer and I can't do much about it, observing her from the outside. And the entire time they're sitting on lawn chairs out on the beach looking at the waves, and he's throwing a stick absentmindedly and then out into the waves, and something is coming back and bringing him the stick. And they don't have a dog, but he's just kind of absent-mindedly doing this. And then all of a sudden, this big kraken comes out over the waves, and he's like, "Hey, Lil one, it's time to come on in now." And they realize that this dog that's been playing fetch with King Ferdinand while they're having this deep conversation is actually a baby kraken. It's this little squid that's coming up the sand on its sucker feet and handing him back this sopping wet stick. And then he throws it back and he's paying no attention whatsoever. And so this little Kraken baby is just running back and forth playing fetch with him. And then that opens them up to having a conversation with the Kraken's father, who has come in and is joining their cause and has some rumors that are going around under the waves that he thinks they might like to hear. But just the thought of this king of the fairies talking to his best friend who is an artist, and they're sitting there having this conversation, and this little kraken just coming back and forth out of the waves and giving him back this stick, just playing a perpetual game of fetch, and nobody stops and looks and says, "Oh, it's a kraken kid." And then Joseph eventually goes, "Huh, never gonna get used to that." It cracks me up every time I think about it. And hopefully when it's in its finalized form and you guys get the chance to read it, I hope it cracks you up too. But that's all I've got. I need to get back to writing before all of the new ideas that are in my head kind of swim away from me. So I hope that you enjoyed this update. And if you've got anything to say, leave it for me. I can't wait to talk to you. And don't forget to link your own hot and sticky videos here or on Twitter at WriterBaby13. Let me know so I can go see them. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.